welkom bij In Gesprek Met en vandaag hebben we twee gasten. Andy Egonu en Sam Jones. En we gaan het in Engels doen, want het is voor de heren easier. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So, Andy, I start with you. You're the head coach by the Dukes.
That's
and you had a job in France.
Yes.
How did you come over here in Holland?
I've been coaching in France for quite a few years, but my wife got a job offer, a job proposition in the Netherlands. So that started a whole series of discussions.
Yeah, that's the main reason.
The main reason.
And how did the Dukes got the focus on you?
I made quite a few inquiries regarding rugby clubs and the level of rugby over here. So through a few contacts, we managed to get in contact with the Dukes. And after several meetings, and one finishing at 12:30 in the night, that's how we met.
How did you adapt here?
Quite smooth. I've been made to feel really welcome. So I had quite a lot of help at the beginning to settle down. And we've managed to settle in without much problems, really.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, when you're coaching, and sport, it's sport. So, yeah.
It's a little bit the same with you, sports. When you came here in Den Bosch?
Absolutely, yeah. For me in the beginning, it was all about sports.
Yeah.
It was only about coming, because I bounced around in Europe before I came to Holland. I played 1 year in Belgium, I played in Poland, then I came to Holland. It was just do your job for 9 months and then go back to America. But then I met my wife. So always the women who are in control here. I met my wife here in the Netherlands, and then I started really focusing on the social aspect and the cultural, and really opening my eyes to not only just the sport aspect. You know.
Yeah.
But it's similar, yeah.
But a little bit difference, because you played nog here, and you played in England and in Wales.
I played in England and in Wales, yes.
On a particularly high level.
At a good level, yes.
Same as you.
Yes.
So is that for you both? Is that an advantage that you played on a high level?
Absolutely. I think if you want to coach a sport, you have to have some knowledge of the sport, and playing is the best way you can get the most knowledge out of the sport. Some coaches do it out the book. All due respect, you can also read. You can read up about the game, but you don't get that feeling if you didn't play the game. So for me, playing at a high level for 10 years helped me tremendously in my coaching.
Yeah, and for you, Andy, when did you stop playing?
That seems a very, very long time ago. I stopped about 15 years ago.
Yeah. And did you have?
I stopped quite young, because reason being, I had quite a lot of injuries during my playing career. It seems I was forever doing rehab after rehabbing after surgery. Maybe not the lucky one as a player. That is. But no, so I stopped quite young.
But was it difficult to stop playing and then forwards to coaching?
No, what was the good thing about it? It's that when I was recovering from my last operation, it gave me a time. I was still under contract with my club, so it gave me a time to figure out that this is what I want to do. I'm going to go into coaching. So at that time, I also started doing my coaching badges in England.
Okay.
So, but the transition, at first it was difficult, yes, because you want to be a player, because you want to be in the changing rooms, you want to have the banter, you want to play all the jokes, you want to mess around with the guys. You miss all that. Yeah. You know, those are priceless moments. But then you also grow into who you are and what you're actually doing now.
Can you cope that?
Absolutely, yeah. It was similar to me, but I knew I wanted to coach. I also stopped early. I was only 32 when I stopped. I was playing in Cyprus, I think, And then Joost Fredericks, the general manager, called me and asked me to come back and be the assistant coach with Den Bosch. And this was the club I had my most success with as a player. If I get a chance to coach at a club where I'm comfortable with, I can grow, I'm going to do it. So the transition was a little bit easier for me because I knew I wanted to do it. I had my fun. I had my fun, my 10-year run in the locker room and on Saturday night, so that was nice. But I was ready to start early. I was ready to start early and focus on my new craft.
Yeah. Okay, now about the season, because you were both extremely successful. Before the winter change, you haven't lost one game. How did you manage that in such a short time?
First of all, I was lucky to inherit a group that was actually quite solid. They already had a great togetherness. But the most important thing for me was creating a team culture within that group.
Yeah. Something that we all bought into, and they also saw an end product in it for them. Because you can't ask players to do this, do this, do this. They've got to see why and where it's going to end up. So we had to create a good team culture and simplified the training, because I wasn't coming in, okay, he's been a professional rugby coach, he's going to come in, everything is going to be complicated. He's going to tell us to do what the professional rugby players do. It's not going to work. Training was quite simple. We formulated a system, yeah, and it helped that we started winning from the beginning. No one was opposing what was going on because the results started coming quite quickly at the beginning. Yeah. So that helped. Yeah, and they were, I heard something about the trainings, but they did something they have never done before in training. Yeah, they were. But definitely I was going to come with something different. Precies. Yeah, but the main difference between you guys is that you already were a member of the staff before you were head coach. Exactly, and we won a championship in 2012 when I was assistant coach. Yeah. So I kind of carried that culture over into when I became a head coach, but also put my own stamp on the team as well. So I also inherited a good group of guys, but we also had to recruit to get some guys from America who we thought could help us win a championship. But overall, we had a good group. Last time you were here was in the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. I told you. You made a bold prediction. You made a bold prediction. You said that we would win the title. It wasn't as easy as just saying we're going to win. We put our head down for 9 months and just grinded. The European competition helped us out tremendously. Yeah, I don't know if you followed the series at all. In the semifinals, we were pushed to the brink against Zwolle. We had to go to Game 7. It was the best of 7. They pushed us all the way to Game 7 and had us down 3 points with 5 seconds to go. So we almost had this series lost. It was an unbelievable narrow escape. It was, and that's what we needed. We needed that dogfight. We needed something to really, really test us. And you saw once we got into the finals, it was over. SPM is coming in. With you, it was a tremendous season, but the last step, 22-11 against Hilversum. Yeah, we fell short at the end. How much did it hurt by the guys? It hurt a lot, because you're in a final to win it. Yeah. And as we say in sport, no one remembers who came second. Yeah. It's you're there to win it. It's been a long journey. Yeah. You know, and what we did also, we didn't say from the beginning of the season we're going to be champions. We just focused on a match by match, week by week, month by month. So we just calmed down and just focused on game by game, and yeah, we got to the final. We played some very good rugby. But perhaps it's just like the same with your colleague Sam. A year and then regrouping, fighting back, and you got a next chance next year. Absolutely. And what I've heard, so I'm not an insider, but what I've heard, the players were really hurt, but back focus next year.
They are focused. They are already in the gym. They are already working for next season. They're already motivated because they want to put what went wrong right next year.
Yeah.
And that's a fantastic attitude to have.
For you both, the youth is very important for the health of the club. What can you do in your teams or with your clubs to make sure that there are a lot of children playing rugby or basketball?
Well, for us, we're fortunate enough to have a basketball school. We have an under-20 team, we have an under-18 team, we have a developmental league team, which is under-24. So we have a close watch on those guys that are playing basketball. There's a lot of guys playing basketball in the gym right next to us, so I have eyes on them as well throughout the season. But we have a basketball school, that helps a lot. So we have a good basketball school. We also do a lot of basketball clinics and things like this. Try to get out to the community and let people see the sport.
Exactly, because there are a lot of children who can't afford a membership at a sport club. But it's really important that also those children should have a chance with a clinic or something that they were spotted.
Yeah.
And with the Dukes, Andy.
This year, this coming season in the Dukes, there is a lot of structure trying to be put in place. Basically, there is a good continuity from the seniors down to the youth. But for me, what I'm going to focus on will be making sure that the coaches of the youth are up to scratch.
Okay.
And helping them out with their planning and program and what they're going to do, because that's important. Because it's not point having the youth there and then their technique falls short.
Yeah.
So you've got to make sure that from the beginning, from that young age, that you've got their techniques up to scratch.
And are you involved?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Well, so we're agreed about the youth. It's important that a lot of children should play and get back out of house. That's also important. Good. Sam, short question. Goals next year?
Kampioen worden. Repeat. You know, last year, as you mentioned, we fell a little short in the finals. You know, the hardest thing to do when you're on top is to stay on top. We're going to do our best to put together another competitive team so we can try to compete for a title again. And of course, like you just mentioned, develop some youth players as well. Yeah. We have a lot of four youth players that we like a lot, and we have to try to find minutes for those guys in Eredivisie. Right now, they're behind some very talented players, some national team players, so they can't get on the floor. Last season they couldn't get on the floor because we were really focused on winning the title. But next year I'm going to try to get those guys on the floor a little more so we can look towards the future. Okay. And your goals, Andy? Of course, the title, the championships.
To go better than last year.
One game better.
Distinguished answer. By the way, you never went to each other's training or matches?
No, this is the first time we've actually met. First time we met. Unbelievable.
Bij In Gesprek Met kan alles gebeuren. I wish you the best of luck with the new season. I hope you'll be back next year and hopefully with the titles again. Much obliged, Andy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Sam.
Ja, Willem. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Tegen de kijkers thuis zeg ik dat ik blij ben dat ik weer even gewoon lekker Nederlands kan praten. Hartelijk dank voor het kijken naar In Gesprek Met. Graag zie ik u volgende week weer terug bij een nieuwe aflevering. Hier vanuit het Media Leerpark op TV73, kanaal Ziggo 44. Tot dan.